It's Total Trauma Takeover, every Thursday in April at the Lyric Cinema in Fort Collins. This month-long retrospective features films from the long and storied history of trauma entertainment every week, along with panel discussions with cast and creatives following each movie. See the original Toxic Avenger, Cannibal the Musical, Mother's Day, and Shakespeare's Shitstorm, all hosted by Matthew Klickstein, author of the new book Lloyd Kaufman Interviews, available at fine bookstores everywhere. But wait, there's more. Every Saturday morning, watch episodes of Toxic Crusaders, the lovable children's cartoon based on the R-rated source material. Everything is happening at the Lyric Cinema. Brought to you by Matthew Klickstein and Loudspeakers Talkin' Trauma. Check lyriccinema.com for schedules and showtimes, and don't miss new episodes of Talkin' Trauma Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Loudspeaker.
Loudspeaker Studios.
Traumaville, news on the march.
Good morning, Traumaville. It is me, your host, Zach Bynes, and I come to you from the Colorado Festival of Horror. This year was a very special year as Scream Queen, Goddess, and all-around wonderful person Tiffany Shepis was at the festival, and I got a chance to talk to her about Trauma's Edge TV and Tromeo and Juliet and all the crazy movies she's in. And she is one of the nicest people I've ever met. And if you could go back in time and tell 14-year-old Zach Bynes that I would be talking with Tiffany Shepis on a stage, he would be like, no way, I don't believe you. But seriously, oh my God, this was a dream come true. And we have a very fun panel that we were able to record. Thank you, Smurf and the gang at COFO, Colorado Festival of Horror, for allowing me to do this, because no one else probably would, or maybe they would. I don't know. I'll speak at your function, your bris, your bar mitzvahs, your auto shop openings. Give me a call at Lego Larry on Twitter. And I will say that some silly moments happen on this episode, and some touching moments as well. Well, I'm rambling a little bit here. I think for now, let's listen.
Oh my God, what an incredible intro. And listen to this amazing sound.
Nowhere else but the Mile High City can you get audio quality like this.
Nowhere else. And did you know it is our sound guy BJ's birthday today?
Oh my God, happy birthday, BJ.
BJ, oh my God, that is why the sound sounds so good and crisp.
You know what also makes this extra special is that it was also your birthday a few days ago.
What? It was my birthday.
I don't know if you realize that, but happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now that you reminded me, I'm going to leave and go do something else.
Well, but before you were just about to regale a tale of you wrestling in Women of Wrestling and Glow.
So, guys, hi. Thank you for being here. I'm really excited. I love Colorado. As a matter of fact, who here is a Casa Bonita fan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let me tell you a really sad story. I've been obsessed with that place forever. Never been. Okay? Never been. Finally got on their dang reservation list. Get my black card in the mail that says I'm super fancy, which I don't think means anything because I think everybody gets one. Do you have one?
Yeah.
If you don't have one, all right, I'm fancier than you. The back order card. Anyhow, I was supposed to go there last night, and I had to cancel going. So here I am in Colorado, have not seen, not been, or done anything at Casa Bonita. Everyone feel bad for me right now.
Aww.
I know, and it was my birthday.
Aww.
So I bet BJ gets to go to Casa Bonita. We don't get to go. This is bullshit. So that means I have to come back to this film festival again, maybe next year.
Next year, and we will make sure
we go to Casa Bonita.
And we will have sopapillas and watch Cliff Divers.
And maybe we will cliff dive.
I will watch. I'm more of a Cliff of a Cannonball.
I swear
type
we
of
are
fella.
not sponsored by Casa Bonita.
I mean,
but
if we
should
were
be.
though, that'd be a rad.
Yeah. No, so I was telling you guys the story because he talked about like how I should come into these panels like a wrestler. And a lot of people don't know that I actually did wrestle. So I was a huge fan, like all of you, of Glow in the 80s, like super fan. And they were, like Glow, the TV show, were holding auditions in LA for the revamp of Glow, which they were going to call WOW, Women of Wrestling. And they did it just like the TV show. Like it was like an open call audition. I went out for it and I was like, yeah, man, I've made all these horror movies. Like, yeah, I could fight. Like I made up all these stories that like I was like this world-class fighter, which I also did to get my job in Romeo and Juliet. So if you see a trend here. But I didn't. I was just like a street fighting kid. But they trained you. And I got the part of Madison, the New York like rich bitch who was like the Ted DiBiase, like the $1 Million Man. But look at the service here in Colorado. Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy birthday to me and BJ. Oh, wait, you have to take a sip. Otherwise, bad luck. And it's Friday the 15th. Okay, good job. Oh, that was like that. What's it called? The sound people
ASMR.
like? ASMR. Do it again. Guys, like, did that just turn people on or something?
It's the Tromaville ASMR.
Oh, that's like
Gross.
more like puking. So anyhow, so I get the job of being Madison, the New York like rich bitch, and like my character is supposed to be this sort of badass, but rather than fighting all the time, I would pay people to throw my matches, pay the refs, pay people to fight for me, whatever. And we were supposed to have our first pay-per-view match on UPN, and we were waiting for like our insurance contract. I don't know. This is very funny, this homeboy over here. Like, we were waiting for our contracts to come in, and they were supposed to give us insurance, right? And that's what you kind of need, insurance, if you're going to like jump off of fucking top ropes like backwards in crazy sexy costumes. And they were promised. He's like, no, I'll get them to you. And like I looked at all the girls and there were like, I think 30 of us in the league. And I was like, guys, we're not getting insurance. So what we need to do is we got to all stay together. They can't have a UPN pay-per-view live show without all of us. So if it's everyone stays together, we're going to get insurance. I was like, I'll do the talking, blah, blah, blah. You know, you just sit there and look pretty. You know, you do this, but I'm going to talk. And everyone's like, yeah, we got this. Fucking producer comes in. I had my Jerry Maguire moment. I stand up and nobody came with me. And it was really, truly the same exact thing. And I was like, I have two choices right now. Like I could sit down and like he knows now I'm full of shit. Or I look at him and I was like, thanks for the free haircut, motherfuckers. And I left and I went to my car and I cried. Wait, hold on. I went to my car and I cried.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that was my stint in wrestling. I did not ever fight a real match. It's very sad.
But I have seen you fight a Sergeant Kabuki Man before, and you kicked his ass.
This is true. I fought Sergeant Kabuki Man. I fought Stevie Blackheart.
Yeah.
His ass. Ted Bundy.
Well, and you also got your introduction into trauma movies by saying you were a fight coordinator, right?
Okay, no, I did not say I was a fight coordinator. I said I was a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
I think I might have got to yellow belt, but it didn't matter. I had a really great high kick. That's not to go wrong. No, I think Lloyd knew I was full of shit. I was a 15-year-old kid who was like, I know jiu-jitsu. I need to be in this movie. You got to hire me. And he was like, oh, yes. Oh, she does know jiu-jitsu. She's amazing.
That's a pretty good Lloyd impression. Oh,
you.
yes. Tiffany.
Yes.
Ooh, yes. So, and this was in Romeo and Juliet. How much of your scenes were directed by Lloyd, and how many were directed by James Gunn in that movie?
Oh, geez. I mean, I think it was pretty like collaborative. Like if I remember it right, it was a long time ago, bro. But I think they both kind of like tag teamed like what they were doing on that set, and it's really apparent if you watch Romeo. It's such a James Gunn film, right?
Yeah.
It's like even though he was the writer, he was there all the time, and so I think it was both.
That's awesome.
But I was so young and just so excited to be there. I was like showing up every day, like, here I am again, in case you might need Peter in the background. They're like, no, you've already got killed, I think.
Well, and you did mention that that's how incidents happen on set. There is a pretty infamous tale of incident.
It was really sad, and that was, I mean, it was probably my fault a little bit, but I think it was mostly, we were doing a fight scene, and it was, I played Peter, the bodyguard to the Capulet family, and we're in this big fight scene on the street, and when we had practiced the scene initially over and over again with the stunt coordinator, I was in like plain people clothes, right? Like sneakers, shorts. And then when we did the scene, I'm in like 8-inch spiked stilettos. And so the distance is obviously off. I was also probably a very overzealous, excited, 15, 16-year-old kid who was like, I'm going to fucking make this kick look the best ever. And I kicked Stevie Blackheart in the face. Oh. And it hurt him bad. And at the time, I feel like I was so young, I didn't really think about how terrible of an accident that is and could have been.
Yeah.
Because I was so young. And now as an adult, I'm like mortified by the story. Because it could have been really, like, what if it hit his eye? So I'm sorry, Stevie Blackheart. I'm not laughing at it. It's really, I do feel terrible. But he's okay. Yay, Stevie.
In Guardians of the Galaxy now.
He's in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's fine.
Well, and you also did like some other stuff in the trauma offices, like the Edge TV, which I'm sporting on my microphone here.
Yes.
You were Action Come News reporter, Super Traumette Bulimia.
Correct. Yes.
So tell everybody a little bit about Trauma's Edge TV who might not be familiar.
Well, Trauma's Edge TV was a show that I think just started in the trauma offices, and it was really going to be like wraparounds for a lot of their crazy movies. And then Lloyd somehow convinced Channel 4 in the UK to give us an actual show, and with the actual budget, which I don't think anyone got paid, so I don't know where that budget went. But we did 2 seasons of it, and from my understanding, was really popular over there for very late night, very drunk and high teenage boys and girls. But it was fun. We had a good time. It was a really weird show. Definitely very trauma.
Very trauma.
Very trauma.
And did you shoot a lot of your stuff in LA? I remember like Trent Haga, who went on to write several, like Dead Girl and several other classics. He was the New York reporter, and you were LA.
Correct. So Debbie Rochon did a lot of them as well, but I started in New York and then I moved to LA like everyone else, because it's like, oh, you'll have jobs here. And I was like, awesome, let me move to LA. Oh, there's no jobs here. It's awesome. I guess I'll be a wrestler. But so we shot some of mine in New York and some in LA.
And you kind of like, it seemed like you cut your teeth just even getting super comfortable in front of the camera with a lot of those shorts, because how much like creativity control did they give you on what you were doing there? I
mean, if you watch that kind of stuff, I mean, it's still very trauma. Like Lloyd and like the writers on that very much have their hands in it. I don't think I would have written myself, like, hey, let's just hump a car. But because it's still, I don't want what you're on, my guy. I've never felt more funny in my life. It's still like they still run it like, a real show or a real movie, but then with all like the liberties of being on an indie movie production, right? Or indie TV show. Like that's what I think all of us like about a lot of the B and cult stuff that we do love, is because you can watch the behind the scenes and go, oh my God, like half of that scene was improv, or half of that scene they had to change because they didn't really have a factory. They only had, a warehouse, or they had, like I made a whole movie called Death Factory that was shot in a haunted house. Like, where's the factory? Like, there's no factory at all, right? So like, that's kind of like the charm that if you guys, and which I know all of you do, because you wouldn't be at my panel, is the charm of like the indie cult B movie is like you really see how it was put together,
Like
right?
the seams and
Yeah, like, and the charm of that, you know, oh, this was somebody that just had a passion to make movies, and oh shit, if they made that piece of crap, I can too.
I love Death Factory, by the way. That was on my employee pick shelf at Hollywood Video.
Oh my God.
So like but it's like you said, you can see the seams, and it's one of those. It's like, well, this dude got his movie in a video store. Why can't I get my movie in a video store?
So it's funny, like for that movie in particular, it was a movie called Death Factory. I only took it because I wanted to play a monster, and it's
costume is rad in that movie.
and my costume is pretty rad. It's basically like a G-string and some like knife hands
and like fangs
and like fangs and knife hands and white contacts. Like none of it really makes sense or matches. But I was scary and cool. I was very much my like homage to like, you know, Mindy Clark and like, you know, Return of the Living Dead 3, right? Like that was like my very, very Z grade version of that. Yes. But not my fault. Because they didn't have a factory. But it was like at the time when like, you know, Blockbuster was just buying things that had like cool people on the cover, and for whatever reason they liked me, and so that movie got so many re-releases. It was like incredible how many times that movie like disappeared, and then it was like it's back, and it's like it's still my face on the cover, but there's like a different tagline, like, and I was telling you earlier, like it's really cool that. Well, I don't know if it's because something was so bad and they thought, oh, wow, if they could do that, so can I. Or if it was just like, wow, this is sort of like the cool stuff I want to make, and somebody did it, and how cool, and now I'm going to make my own. And so I have a lot of people that come to me and they're like, Death Factory is the reason I started making movies, you know, and I'm like, that's so cool. Why am I not in your movie now? What the fuck?
I'm sure another one people come up a lot is Delta Delta Die.
Yes. So Delta Delta Die was kind of one of my favorite movies I've ever made, but it had a limited release. So like for whatever reason, Full Moon, I don't know if you guys want to reach out to Full Moon and tell them like, get on that.
Charles Band,
what the hell? It was myself, the late Julie Strain, Brink Stevens.
Yes.
And just a very weird sorority house that bakes the fraternity guys into pies and sells them.
It's
incredible.
Such a good. It's just fun. Like it's a good
fun.
party movie.
Yeah, like who doesn't want that? Like, you know, asshole frat guys. Dead.
And you have a lot of fun ones like that. Like when we're showing tomorrow, The Hazing.
Yes.
Who here has seen The Hazing? Couple.
Okay, a couple.
Everybody else, come tomorrow to watch The Hazing.
Okay, if you're here at this film festival, which is what it is at the heart of it, come see The Hazing. I'm not kidding, because it was a movie that if you like who here seen Night of the Demons?
Oh yeah.
Okay, everyone. Seen Hell House, you've seen Night of the Demons. This is such an homage to that in a really fun, cool way, and it has me, and it has Brad Dourif, you know, the voice of Chucky. And Perry Shen from Hatchet, and it's so fun and cool, and if you haven't seen it, you'll probably never see it until Severance. I think we're trying to get them to put out a new like Blu-ray re-release, so maybe then. But
Severin, come on, let's do it.
Let's go, Severin.
Their booth is right across the hall from you, so we'll just go
bother them.
We'll flip their table over.
Yeah, flip the table. Where's the hazing, motherfucker?
And high kick them.
This is all right. So this is a plan that's just going to stay between us and BJ's cameras. We're going to go fuck up the Severin. No, I'm just kidding. No, but really, if you have nothing to do tomorrow night, come see that. It'll be fun. And maybe there'll be a giveaway, which there will be. I'm telling you now, there'll be a giveaway.
Giveaway. Ooh, Tiffany, Shepis, giveaway. Thank you.
Can you imagine what type of crap it's going to be?
It's going to be wonderful. Another one of my favorites of yours, later down the trail, but Model Hunger that you did with Debbie Rashawn directed that.
Yeah, it was Debbie's first directorial debut.
And tell us a little bit about that project. Like that's like, I don't know. I consider it one of the more important films of the 2010s. It's an incredible, like, just female-led horror slasher. Like, it's great.
Yeah, Debbie did a really good job of putting together this like really interesting, cool cast. You know, about body dysmorphia and the world and how women should see and feel about themselves, and the way, like, society fucks all that up because people suck. And she just did an incredible job. I mean, like, if you're a fan of Scream Queens, you can't not be a fan of Debbie's. So to be a part of her first movie was very cool.
It was super cool as a fan, like, watching you and Debbie, like, in the early days in Tromaville, and then, like, now you're making, like, this movie together. It felt really special that we got to experience something like that.
Well, if you like that, and you like Debbie Rashawn, and you like me, you should also watch a movie called Wrath of the Crows.
Ooh.
So Wrath of the Crows, I know, right? How did you not know about this one? Okay. What is it? No, so everyone can hear you.
Incredulous. What is Wrath of the Crows?
Oh my God, let me tell you. He wants to know what the question, guys, was what is Wrath of the Crows?
For in the back.
For in the back.
What is Wrath of the Crows?
What is the question again?
What is Wrath of the Crows?
What is Wrath of the Crows? So Wrath of the Crows, good question. Thank you so much. Wrath of the Crows.
The question was, what is Wrath of the Crows?
Thank you. I lost track. Wrath of the Crows is a movie that we shot in Italy. Whoa. Director is a guy named Ivan Zuccone, not Ivan, Ivan. And he made a movie with me previous called Ninfa, which is not what you would think. I see you. I saw those eyebrows raised. Not what you think. That movie, Ninfa, is a movie about me going to Italy as an American nun to do her new world order, like, convent, like, give her vows. And she doesn't realize that she's at some really fucked up nunnery. And at this place, in order to get closer to God, BJ, they have to remove your eyes in order to see God, cut out your tongue in order to speak to God, burn your hands so you can feel God. Like, this is a shit show of a convent. And we filmed that in Italy. It's really dark. It's really scary and very weird. And I think this director is, like, crazy talented. Like, if he lived here and could direct more stuff in English, he'd be somebody that all of you have heard of. But after that, we did a movie together, Debbie and I, called Wrath of the Crows. It takes place in a prison, and where people have done, like, whatever terrible things, and these visitors come to them at night to try to get them to, like, atone for their sins. And so a lot of sinning in Italy. But that movie's incredible. It's really one of my favorite movies ever made, and Debbie's super great in it, and, well, I'm really good too. So if you want to see something that stars some of your favorite Debbie, or maybe your 19th favorite Scream Queens, watch Wrath of the Crows.
This show, as well as all of the programming on Loudspeaker, is listener supported. What that means to you is that rather than go to corporate sponsors and advertisers who are trying to sell you crap you don't need, we go straight to you. We go to the audience, and our audience helps us do what we do. The way you do that is by making a tax-deductible contribution to Loudspeaker. Go to loudspeaker.org and click on the support button. You can give one time or every month. It's entirely up to you, and we thank you so much for your support. Every single dollar helps us keep the lights on and tell more interesting stories like the one you're hearing right now. Thanks again for listening. Now let's get back to the show.
Another film that you're really great in, that you're seeing tugs at the heartstrings, is with a horror icon, Victor Crowley.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit. You were in the fourth Hatchet movie, Victor Crowley. Tell us about that experience.
So, if anybody knew about, like, what Adam Green did with the surprise of Hatchet 4 being Hatchet 4, it was the same for all of us actors. Like, we all got sent a script. He told me, don't tell anybody. I'm like, how can I not tell anyone? Like, who's in this? He's like, I can't tell you. But of course, if anyone knows my friend Felissa Rose, she has a very big mouth, and she called me. She's like, so are you doing a movie? I was like, oh my God, you're such a bad actor. Like, is it Victor Crowley? She's like, oh my God, I'm not supposed to tell anybody. Who are you playing? FYI, that is the best Felissa Rose impression of all time.
It's dead on.
And if you're a fan of Felissa Rose, she and Kane Hodder host a podcast. It's called Casualty Friday. You should pull out your phones right now and hit subscribe. We are in, like, our third season, and it's not really great, but
It's fun.
It's us. No, it's a lot of fun. So Adam Green sent out a script to everybody, and it was like, don't tell anybody, and of course we all did, and everybody was super excited. I was asked to work with Adam years and years earlier on one of his Halloween shorts, and I couldn't do it. And so it always became like a thing, like, when are we going to work together? And then we did Scary Sleepover, and it was a ton of fun. And so working on Victor Crowley, although if anyone has seen it and watched my very sad, I'm not going to call it a death scene, because if you go back and rewatch it, you never actually saw me die. So I will tell you why I am still alive. So I'm there. All these idiots can't figure out how to take away like 1 inch of water in front of my mouth to help me breathe, which is absolutely bullshit, that you have such terrible friends that they can't figure out how to put like a silly straw in your mouth, or like one of those oxygen tubes you could have just ripped off and had me breathing the whole time. So dumb. Anyhow, I'm there drowning, dying. Well, then Victor Crowley comes to the window, and they all run to the other side of the plane, which in my head would make the plane tilt, meaning the water would flow away from Casey, me, making me breathe. They all run out of the plane. Victor Crowley's there. This whole fight happens. Blah, blah, blah. Victor Crowley takes me because I'm pregnant. I have the baby, and he raises the baby as his. A mini Victor Crowley. There it is. Hatchet 5, starring Tiffany Shepis. And my baby.
Yes.
So if you guys all want to write to Adam and tell him that you all came up with this on your own.
At Adam effing Green.
Adam effing Green. At Adam effing Green. I came up with this idea this weekend, and you all tell him it was your idea. Maybe we can get this made. I also have a Kickstarter. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll go to your Indiegogo, and
it's Tiffany Shepis. I don't know why.
It's a direct link to your PayPal.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So weird.
and then you later went on to explore other fandoms in the Star Trek, which I would say has just as popular a fandom as horror.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you're in the new Picard series.
I am on season 3 of Picard. I play Dr. Oak. So much fun. And it's one of those things that, I mean, you guys know, like I've been going to conventions, I've told you now, since I was 15, 16 years old. And the only thing I ever, like, because I think our genre is the best genre. Like, I was a fan growing up. How I didn't even tell you how I got the part in Romeo and Juliet. I was a little actor kid in New York, and I was just making movies like with my big giant VHS on my block, like having friends jump off the roof and like cover themselves in ketchup. And that's all I knew. Like, I didn't think that there was a world where you could just go become an actor. And I was at school, and some kid was like circling things in a paper, and I was like, what is that? And they're like, I'm an actor, I'm going to try out for these parts. And I was like, let me see that. Because I was a bully. I probably like punched them and like took the paper. And in it was an ad for Troma Films. And I was like, I know them. It's like, they made Nymphoid Barbarian and Dinosaur Hell. And so I cut class, and I went and I auditioned, and that's how I got that part.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So when I would go to these conventions as a kid growing up as a fan who now was in these movies, I would see Star Trek conventions would always be like right next door. And I'm like, damn. I was like, their fans are on point too. Like, how do I get in that world? And but it was like, it's just the same sort of thing. It's like the camaraderie that like Trekkies have is the same thing we all have when like, I'm like, bro, like, nice Troma shirt. Like, oh, dude, I saw that. Oh, what'd you think of that movie? It's like, that's what I find fun about coming to these, is that like, we all watch the same stuff, right? And I would see that at Star Trek convention. I'm like, oh man, like, I guess I got to get into Star Trek. And so when I came time to audition for Star Trek Picard, I was like, oh, I got to go and like really verse myself in this world. And I kind of realized how much Star Trek I actually had seen. Like, you don't realize it until all of a sudden I'm going back, like, I've seen this. Oh, I know who all these characters are, because it's such pop culture, right?
It's like in our DNA.
In our DNA. Like, just like, you know, Jason and Freddy are, so is, you know, Star Trek Next Gen. So super excited. I play Dr. Oak. She's, I guess, kind of a bitch. And yeah, if you like Star Trek, you should watch it.
I am curious, what things on a Troma set did you learn to do or not to do that have carried over to Picard?
Oh my God, on a trauma set.
I'm sure there's things that you're like, I remember learning this with Lloyd, and I'm still like doing the same technique here, or it's like, I remember learning this from Lloyd, and I'm fucking not doing that here.
I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that I learned just being an actor, it's from the trauma verse of, you know, kind of being a little bit larger than life, which maybe, you know, only works in this genre.
Yeah.
But I can't really off the cuff think of something that carried over from it, other than just realizing that, like I said, like all of us that are genre fans, whether it be sci-fi or horror, it's all kind of the same.
Yeah.
Right? It all kind of mixes and melds together into that same pot. And you know, actors and friends and fans of both worlds kind of tend to be like, all right, I may not watch that, but that's cool, right? And
Yeah.
it's like still special effects and prosthetics, and you're still painting a world that is sort of incredible.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't answer that at all because I don't know.
You did exactly what I hoped. Is very political. I appreciate. So no melon crushings in Star Trek.
I'm sure there was, just not on mine. I wish there was more melon crushings.
Be like, no, it's got to be a cantaloupe.
Yes.
And another favorite in my household is Tales of Halloween.
Yes. If you guys haven't seen Tales of Halloween, very fun anthology. So many horror people in it. Actually, one of the people that is here today, Alex Esso, is in one of the segments. I think that's how you say her name, Alex Esso, right? Esso. Yeah, she's in one of the segments. I'm in one. Barry Bostwick. I mean, I did Adam Green. Like it. Yeah, Barry Bostwick. It's chock full of horror people, and all directed. Each segment directed by a very cool horror director. And it's a lot of fun. And also, if you like horror anthologies, I did another anthology called Deathcember. So holiday horrors at its finest. And it may actually be one of my favorite characters to play of all time, a Christmas shopping Karen. And I am shockingly good at it. So you should watch that just for that. So, directed by Michael Verratti, also of Trauma fame.
And he directs Dragula, if you're watching that on Shudder,
and the Chainsaw Awards, which I will be on this year as well.
I am curious, with all the films you've been in, is there a role that you feel sticks out to you that not enough people talk about?
The Hazing. So The Hazing, which is going to be playing here this weekend, I think we talked about that a little bit. It's really just more of a fun popcorn movie. It's not like the role itself was something that I'm like, oh man, you guys all have to see this. This character's so amazing. It's more that I just really like my acting in it.
Yeah.
Like I think she's funny and fun and cool. But another one is a movie called The Frankenstein Syndrome, which I play a molecular biologist who's, of course, hired to develop a serum that will, of course, bring back, regenerate dead tissue, which, of course, means bringing the dead back to life. Dun, dun, dun. But it's really, it's not campy like a lot of the stuff that I usually do. So it's very serious, which a lot of my fans actually were like, why aren't you being funny? Why aren't you being naked? But it's really cool, and a lot of people like that do see it. Like it's a really interesting, fun one. And I met my husband making that movie. He directed it.
That's awesome.
But we hated each other when we made the movie, and that's a true story. Like absolutely hated each other, and it wasn't until many, many months later that I was like, "Oh, you're actually kind of cool."
And another thing that I love about you that I don't know if everybody knows is that you are also an activist out there. And I don't know if you...
This is a gear switch, guys.
Yeah, a little bit of a switch, but I do think it's important that people know the multifaceted Tiffany Shepis. And you're more than just a scream queen. You are an important person right now.
Thank you. We advocate for just gun safety. Have a gun? Totally cool. Just make sure a kid can't get it, right? It's kind of common sense. That's what I advocate for. I have real life experience with it. Our daughter was shot at a school shooting. And the number one cause of death of kids and teens right now is gun violence. And the majority of time, it's a preventable one because somebody left a gun out, right? You hear about it all the time. Kid just, oh, it's on my coffee table. I didn't think my kid could play with it, or I didn't think my kid would because I taught him gun safety. It's not always the case. Preventable deaths. Have a gun, no problem. Do what you want, but make sure it's stored safely. That's the end of my speech.
I appreciate you mentioning that and for letting me put you on the spot like that.
No, thank you. Pardon? So we work with a lot of them, but we have one that we started ourselves that is called Trauma to Triumph. It's trauma-triumph.org, and it is tax deductible. So what we do with our organization is we provide monetary scholarships to children specifically who were victims of violent crime. So if you were a wounded victim of violent crime, not necessarily have to be shooting, it could be whatever the case may be. There's lots of bad things that happen. We'll provide resources, support, and scholarships. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for asking.
Well, I think on that, maybe we will open up to the floor for some Q&As. If you're ready for some Q&As, I'm gonna try not to fall off the stage here. Oh, well, now I gotta hop back up on the chair here.
Test 1 2.
Somebody better come up with a question.
Test 1 2.
Mo definitely has a question.
Mo's got a question.
Thank you.
It's hot in here.
It's toast. Well, that's good. You're here.
She's going to start with I love you.
Well, it's true.
I
do
love you.
Absolutely love you. But so you mentioned one of the films that you chose specifically because you really wanted to be a monster. And I do love some of the transformations you've done, like in Night Watchman. Do you have kind of a favorite transformation character that you've played?
Oh, man. So, okay, I hate to keep saying it, but in The Hazing, I get possessed. I'm just going to spoil it for you. Tomorrow it's playing here. And who's the place that we want to put it out?
Severin's
going to probably put it out, even though they don't know they are. They're going to do a re-release of it on Blu-ray. So in spoiler, I do get possessed by Brad Dourif. And so I kind of look like me. I kind of look like Brad Dourif, but I kind of talk like Brad Dourif, who, of course, decided he was going to do an English accent like the week before. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just prepared to do Brad Dourif. I'm not prepared to do Brad Dourif with an English accent. But Brad Dourif called and he left me, and I wish I still had these. Like, this is an old school, like, tape recorded, like, voicemails. He left me voicemails of my lines, how he would do it in an English accent. Isn't that cool? It's kind of awesome. I remember just being like, oh my God, you guys, Brad Dourif is leaving me messages. But so that was really fun. It was a lot of fun, a lot of prosthetics. Also, that Italian movie where they had to take out all of my eyes and mouth, that was really hardcore, but very, very fun to do. I do very much love special effects makeup. So anything that gives me a chance to do something weird is a good time.
Thank you. Thank you, Bo. Other cues in the right over here. Lovely shirt, by the way.
Yeah, good shirt. Go Trauma.
Isn't it a great shirt? I mean,
it's a great shirt.
The coolest shirt ever. Okay, so we talked earlier, and I told you that you are one of my favorite actresses of all time. Not just,
wait, hold on.
Not just Scream Queen.
Yes.
Yeah, you and Sarah French, who was here a couple years ago. My two favorite actresses of all time, and she loves Loki, by the way. So, with that being said, I have to ask you. It's kind of a personal question. Okay. What is it like?
She's married.
Being married to a genius like Sean Tretta. Everything he touches turns to gold.
Oh my God. Well, wait. I was gold before I met him. Let me just say that. Totally fine before, too. No. Okay. All right. There's a lot of Sean Tretta love going on here. He is married, just so you know. Dude, I am with you. My husband is a genius. He's very, very, very smart. Like, I really do love the Frankenstein syndrome. I love the part that I played in it. I think it is a massively sleeper horror film. for when it came out. It just came out at like an odd time. Like we were getting rid of like DVDs and Redbox, and it was like, where do you put these movies? There's like weird indie movies now.
Yeah.
And he's an incredible writer, and he's doing such cool stuff that I don't know if I'm allowed to tell anybody about. So you could come to my table and I'll tell you all about it. But it definitely ups your game when you're married to somebody who's doing sometimes cooler things than you are. You're like, what the fuck? Now nobody cares about Death Factory.
I will always have a spot for Death Factory.
It may be a year for divorce, to be honest. Yeah, Mayans, 12 Monkeys, Star Trek. Like, no, it's like he sucks. Yeah.
Man, can we get a Mayans Death Factory crossover?
Oh, Mayans Death Factory crossover. Oh. Well, actually, I kind of did that in the form of another movie that's playing here called The Violent Kind. So The Violent Kind, made by the Butcher Brothers, who made the Hamiltons. They made the remake of April Fool's Day. If you like bikers and you like fucking possession and you like Tiffany Shepis, you should watch The Violent Kind tomorrow night at the Colorado Festival of Horror.
Yes. All right. Anybody else out there? Well,
Thank you.
I want to say thank you so much for coming back to Colorado, and
Love it here.
and next time we'll make
Casa
sure.
Bonita.
Yeah, Sopapillas and Cliff Divers, and
Should we just do the convention there?
oh my God,
Every movie has to have a water theme. So Victor Crowley can play. I fell into a swamp. What else can come and play? Freddy versus Jason. All right. Doug Jones is cool. So, all right. Shape of Water. Anything else? Any other water horror
We'll do
things?
Jaws the Revenge.
Jaws the Revenge. We could do Piranha 3 Double D.
Get
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
yes.
All right. So we have it set, guys. All right. Are we good? All right. This is all planned.
Yes.
So everybody will meet there this time next year.
Sharknado 2.
I was in Sharknado 2, and I did get killed on a boat. It works. And you know what? In that one, I don't think I'm dead either. Because if you look at when my face got ripped half off, I didn't stop breathing. It's true. They cut away. So I'm also alive. Then I come back like Quint in Jaws, and my face is all fucked up. And I have to hunt this Sharknado thing. But I'm also a meteorologist now because while I was healing, I went to weather school.
The
All right, so you
tornado's
guys
got
need
dollars.
to call Asylum, and all of you say that you had the same idea. It's
For
unbelievable.
Sharknado 7.
Or 8?
8
Yeah,
8?
but it's only starring Tiffany Shepis.
sold.
I also have a GoFundMe for that up.
It's a Venmo code at your table.
All Venmos, except for the Trauma to Triumph, that really goes to them. All other Venmos go to me.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank you guys.
And be sure to stop by Tiffany's booth.
Yeah, come to my
Buy
table.
plenty of autographs and was
If you say keyword Death Factory, I'll charge you $5 more.
as it should be. You got to get the royalties from that movie somehow.
Yeah, just say Death Factory over and over.
My new safe word.
That's nobody's safe
That's
word.
the worst.
You-
That's a bad safe word, my guy.
Acted the charges just by saying that.
Thank you guys for coming. Make sure you guys tell your friends. This is like really the funnest, coolest place I've been in a very long time. So tell your friends about this festival. Make sure they know about it. Make sure they come this weekend. And if they can't come this weekend, come next year because, I'm going to make sure they have me as a guest again.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Tiffany Shepis.
Oh, wow. That was a hoot and a holler. Talking Troma, we're still on behind the scenes. It's been announced that Refused Films has put out Cannibal the Musical, Sergeant Kabuki Man, NYPD, and the Toxic Avengers special editions for Blu-ray. That right as the time of this recording, they're up for order. But Talkin' Troma did the exclusive commentaries for those. So refusefilms.com, you want to pick those up. I don't make any money from it, but it's a passion project. And former guest Liam Regan, director of Eating Miss Campbell, it's his label, and we wish him all the best luck, and it's gonna be badass. And there's certainly badass things happening on these discs. As a diehard Troma nerd, I pestered the bejeebus out of him to get, such a great thing out there. As far as this episode goes, though, what a great time with Tiffany Shepis, and a great time at the Colorado Festival of Horror. There was always a line at Tiffany's table because she is so funny, as you could tell from that panel that we did. So thank you, Tiffany Shepis, and thank you, Colorado Festival of Horror. If you're in Colorado around spooky season, look up Colorado Festival of Horror. It's independently run. None of the big corporate backers are getting this thing going. It's all fans, and it's a great time. Thank you, Loudspeaker, for putting the show on, and also keep your ears open for more from Talkin' Troma, because I assure you there is more in the works. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Lego Larry. Follow the show Instagram and Twitter at Talkin' Troma. Be sure to keep on listening, and until next time, stay traumatized.
Talkin' Troma with Zach Bynes is hosted and produced by Zach Bynes, Chris Lanfear, and Chaz Kangas. Our head of research is Dr. Nolan Stoltz. The show is recorded at Loudspeaker Studios in Fort Collins, Colorado. Executive producers for Loudspeaker are Chris Lanfear and Charles Joseph Kelly. Our theme music is by J57 and Bald Halfwit. Talkin' Troma is a listener-supported production of Loudspeaker Studios, a nonprofit public radio service. To support the show, please consider making a donation at loudspeaker.org. Catch new episodes of the show Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, streaming at loudspeaker.org and the Loudspeaker mobile app. Past episodes of the show can be found at talkintroma.com, and you can find us on social media at Talkin' Troma. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in Tromaville.
This has been a listener-supported production of Loudspeaker Studios. For more on this and other programs, visit loudspeaker.org.